welcome to Cinemachine. Brandon, how you doing this week?
Great. I'm doing really good. So good, in fact.
Okay. I think I have some idea of why you're doing well. And Ryan, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Just living.
As
Brandon was last week.
Yeah. I peeked over at your Cape Cast. I saw that you guys are psyched about all the
big week.
The DC stuff. So congratulations on all of that.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
Nice if you haven't watched, give us a view. It's a good episode.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I like you guys. I just don't like what you're talking about. So anyway, everybody's here. Now, if you want to skip straight to our main review, be sure to go down into the description. We have timestamps down there for every single section of this, and you can skip around as you please. So don't feel like you have to feel obligated, but we'd like it if you watched this the whole way through. All right. So, Ryan, what have you been watching this week?
So I watched, on your recommendation, I watched Ingrid Goes West, which was a little bit of a surprise. I think I was expecting more of a comedy than it was for me. I know you hyped it as a dark comedy. It was definitely dark.
Yeah.
It's more awkward than hilarious.
Yeah. That's for sure. It was a good movie, though. So, you were right. It does make you hate social media.
Yeah, it really does. The acting's really good in it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Acting's good. The story beats are solid. And obviously it's a little bit of a it's a little bit different than the kind of movies that I tend to watch, as Al would probably agree.
Were you uncomfortable at all?
Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable. Uncomfortable.
Brandon, were you uncomfortable when you watched it?
No, I mean, I like awkward comedy. So like cringe comedy and that kind of thing. Like, I mean, if you like The Office, you like that kind of humor. It's like, you know, people just doing like kind of embarrassing things or just being like the worst of people. But I liked it. I like Aubrey Plaza and
this was a great role for her.
It's almost like it was written for her. I don't know if it was, but it was spot on for her. And I mean, I hate to say it, but everybody knows him as Ice Cube's son. But O'Shea Jackson Jr., I think his name is. He is fantastic in this movie, and he's a Batman fanatic, so that's something that we all can relate to. However, he is a certain particular Batman fanatic. I don't want to give it away, but and I'm not going to give the scenario, but the best line in the movie, period, for me is tell me Gotham needs me. So I just think that's hilarious.
I probably agree with you on that one.
And
it was funny. We the day after we watched it, I was talking to Katie about it, and she goes, "Isn't the guy in that movie 50 Cent's son?" And I was like, I don't think he looks like 50 Cent. If anything, he looks like Ice Cube.
Looks just like Ice Cube.
Looked it up.
Just like him.
Sure enough.
Oh yeah. So have you been watching anything else?
So after last week's Richard Jewell review, got on Paul Walter Hauser was great in that, so I revisited I, Tonya, which we hadn't seen since theaters. And he totally carries that movie.
Yeah, he does.
You just wait till he's on screen.
yeah, he's fantastic.
It's phenomenal. And that movie as a whole, super creative. And I remember going into it in the theater, like, you know, knowing the story, knowing what it was about, but not expecting it to be done in like that fake documentary style, which I thought was makes for super entertaining experience when you got Margot Robbie and who's Winter Soldier's the actor for Winter Soldier.
That'd be a Brandon question more than an Alan question. We'll put it up on the screen. How about that?
Yeah, so him and it's kind of they're like conflicting interviews as they're describing what happened.
Sebastian Stan. So you're looking.
That's right.
Then we won't
Sebastian
put it up on the screen.
I had to figure it out. Okay.
Let's just not know. Yeah, I love that movie so much. It's a really good complimentary piece for Ingrid Goes West because it is kind of awkward. It's quirky, really great performances, and it is so funny to watch and see Margot Robbie. She even gets lost in that character. Like you forget that you're watching Margot Robbie for a long time. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really good. And I don't know how true to the story that movie is, but it's hilarious. So,
I don't think anybody knows really what the story is. That's what makes it so great.
Yeah,
they're all kind of like telling their own, or how they want the public to view the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, what have you been watching this week?
Not a lot, but I did get to watch. You'll probably see a theme with my reviews, and they're mostly going to be like geared towards younger kids movies because anytime I get a chance to watch a movie, it's typically with my daughter. So, anyway, Disney Plus had a new release on Friday. So we watched The One and Only Ivan. It goes along with our Sam Rockwell theme that we've been doing here on Cinemachine.
Sam Rockwell in it?
Yeah, he voices the gorilla Ivan.
Oh, okay. It's animated?
No, it's live action, but it's like CG animals.
Oh, okay.
But it's based on a true story apparently.
A talking gorilla.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I mean, I was surprised too. I didn't know that there was such a thing. Talking gorillas, elephants, everything. But yeah, no, it's based on a story as far as this gorilla. I think he ended up in the Atlanta Zoo. But
there's a talking gorilla at the Atlanta Zoo. Oh my gosh!
They took liberties.
Al's really taking and running with this. If you haven't noticed,
It really wasn't a gorilla. It was
it's a metaphor, Al. No, this gorilla's. His name was Ivan. He was he grew up in this like a mall circus, and his owner, who's played by Bryan Cranston. It's one of those, like, as far as the narrative of the story, it's kind of like a very common, like, guys got a theater or some kind of, business, and like they fell on hard times. People aren't showing up anymore and that kind of thing. And they like are trying to like come up with something new to get people to come.
Like the old matinee movie with John Candy. I mean, not John Candy. Sorry, John Goodman.
Sure.
Yeah, that one.
Obscure movie reference by Al.
But anyway,
count one.
So it's got a pretty decent voice cast. Sam Rockwell, like I said, it's got Danny DeVito in it. It's got Angelina Jolie. Anyway, but it's a pretty good little serviceable movie. Like I said, we watched it on Disney Plus. And I mean, Bryan Cranston, he's good pretty much everything that he's in. But yeah, I mean, it's a sweet movie. Like we were talking about JoJo being a sweet movie. This is another one of those, like, pretty innocent, just a solid little family movie. There's a part in the movie where, like, so the gorilla, the point of the movie is, like, the gorilla loves art. He likes to paint. And they want him to be this, like, in the act, he's like a fierce gorilla, pounds on his chest, and he's like, trying to scare the kids and stuff. And they end up discovering that he can draw, and that they start using that as his act, as a new selling point to get people to come in. But they have this flashback scene, and Ivan. It's when Ivan was a kid, and he's like in the jungle before he gets put in captivity. He's like in the jungle, and he's like got mud, and he's like drawing something on the rock. And his dad comes up, and his dad's like, "You don't need to be drawing. You need to fight and gather food and stop playing in your band and play, do art."
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, sounds like getting a little PTSD there. Play sports. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that scene hit, and I was like, I looked over at Melissa, and I was like, little PTSD here. But nah, I'm kidding. Love you, Dad.
Did Luna like it?
Luna did like it.
Or any of the cousins or anything like that over there to watch, or was it just the audience of 3?
Yeah, it was just us. I mean, Melissa fell asleep, so that's, but that's just her now. She's back in school, so she falls asleep in every movie now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
yep.
just
Brandon's
the 3 of us.
Married to a teenager, apparently. She's back in school.
Yeah. She's back in school.
She works at the school, people. Don't come at us.
Yeah.
So, was there anything else that you got a chance to watch? That was the only thing that you had a chance to watch this week?
No, not really. I mean, we're still watching Eastbound and Down. So,
okay.
Like, that's like the only thing that we're watching. And we kind of take our time with series. So, and that's 4 seasons. So, we got 2 episodes left. So we got to figure out something new to watch. So if you have any recommendations as far as a series is concerned,
yeah, throw it down in the comments. Brandon and his wife need some extracurricular watching time. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I myself had a special adventure this week in my what I'm watching. I went to a movie theater.
What is that?
I know,
Yeah,
right?
a movie theater.
Was this place where they have really big screens at the end of one big room and a bunch of seats where people sit next to each other and try not to annoy one another while they're watching a movie. Well, that's
Do they try?
Well, they try not to. Well, hang on. Let's refrain from saying they try. They do annoy me, but anyways.
Brandon or Al, did they clap at the end of the movie for you?
There weren't enough people in there to make clapping happen, so there was a total of 6 people. That's a whole other episode. Do not clap in movies. Anyways, so I went and saw. They're playing older movies in the theater, so it's really not about what I saw. Although I did go see Empire Strikes Back, it was just the right movie. It was at the perfect time when I was there and things of that nature. I was going to grab our Tenet tickets, and I was like, "Hey, movie's starting. I'm just gonna go in here." There were a total of 6 people in the theater. It was really nice to sit in there, but I did get the squeaky seat. It was every time I'd like.
Couldn't you move since there weren't many?
Yeah,
people?
no, so the thing is, just in case anybody's wondering, when you go in, they have this particular theater, and it was a Regal theater, so every other row was marked off. And whenever you bought a ticket, the 2 tickets directly next to you, which I bought an aisle ticket, the 2 tickets next to you are automatically knocked off. So when I bought our Tenet tickets, it was nearly impossible to get tickets. Not that a lot of people were in the theater with us, but the fact that we have a party of people going, not a party, but a fair amount of people going, we blocked off that many tickets, and they have to block off 2 seats next to that, and then I couldn't get. So anyway, it was a little bit cumbersome, but you make do because we love going to the movie theater. I know I love the movie theater, and it was great to be in there. And I will say that it was fun to watch Empire Strikes Back on the big screen. It's one of those things I've always wanted to do, so it was really nice to do. And that movie, I have to admit, was a lot of fun on the big screen. Like,
I believe it.
I'm a Star Wars. I like Star Wars just fine. I'm not a fanatic. My nephew Hunter loves Star Wars. He reads all the books and everything, and I like viewing Star Wars through his eyes. I like having that bond with him. I like Star Wars enough to know enough to talk about it, and I do enjoy the first 3 movies a lot and Rogue One as well. And the other ones are okay, whatever. But it was fun. It was fun to go to a theater, and I'm saying that if you have a thing against the mask, if you don't have a thing against the mask, whatever. There weren't enough people in there. They didn't, we had to wear them into the theater, but being that everybody had their own row, pretty much, you didn't have to wear the mask while you were watching the movie. Nobody came in and looked at us. Now, when we go to Tenet, I have a feeling we'll be wearing our mask the entire time,
right?
Just because we'll be packed in like sardines. So, but yeah, it was fun. They were selling concessions and everything. I didn't grab any personally. I just didn't need anything. I had already had lunch that day, but yeah, it was fun. There were other people going to other movies, and I think it's funny that we are at a time that just a couple weeks ago, Gremlins was the #1 movie in the country. So it just feels like this really crazy time, but it was a lot of fun. Outside of the movie theater, I did watch Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger on HBO, and
rolling that 70s 80s action.
Oh man,
movie,
I'm telling you, I'm on a kick right
aren't you?
now. Yeah, it's just dumb fun movies, and while I'm stuck inside, and but that is fun. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in there, a very young Elisa Milano. If you haven't seen that, it is a big dumb movie, but it is a lot of fun.
Pretty classic.
Yeah, and it's on HBO right now. You can stream it, so have fun with that. So anyway, that's what we've been watching, and we'll be right back with the news. All right, and we are back, and Brandon is going to give us some film news. Brandon?
Yes, film news. Well, you kind of buried the lead a little bit earlier, but I mentioned last week that Tenet tickets were on sale. Well, they're for real on sale now, and we have tickets. We're going to see Tenet.
IMAX.
In IMAX.
Yes, we do. And I'll be honest, I was nervous when I got up to the box office because I hadn't looked online or anything. I just knew they were on sale, and I just went straight to the box office. I was scared they were going to bump them up. I was scared it was going to be like $60 a ticket, and I was going to text you guys and be like, regular showing, or what are we doing here? But yeah, no. And the ticket taker was so excited to see people. He was like, "Hey, man!" So it was a lot of fun.
It's been months. Let's be honest, though. What a way to go back to movies and theaters.
All right. Yeah.
Tenet and IMAX. Welcome back.
Right. I think it's going to be a blockbuster. Anyway, go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
Hopefully. Well, no, I mean, I didn't have much to add other than, as far as hopefully everything goes as planned. That, the last time I think I went to see something in IMAX, the film projector broke. So, hoping for smooth sailing this go around.
You better knock on wood there, boy.
It's well rested at this point. I don't think they're showing anything.
Well, maybe they've forgotten how to use it, operate it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to do like a Quentin Tarantino roadshow and just bring projectionists like out of retirement and things of that nature.
Do you know if our showing is 70 millimeter IMAX or is it digital? I can't remember what that one. I want to say that theirs is a film IMAX, but I'm not positive.
I don't know.
But
I'll try to find out.
It's no biggie. I was just curious. But anyway, yeah. Tenet tickets are on sale. If you live in a market where you have theaters open, then I imagine you also can buy Tenet tickets.
Do it.
We are shooting to review that next week. So hopefully you guys will have seen it if you're able. Anyway, so yeah, Tenet tickets on sale. The next thing that I wanted to touch on is I know Ryan and I share this sentiment, and I'm pretty sure Al does as well as far as Batman movies are concerned. Over the weekend, the Batman trailer, Matt Reeves' Batman movie, they released a trailer for it. And Ryan and I have talked about it in private, but we haven't really talked to Al about it. So I wanted to kind of bring it up and see what he thought about the Batman.
Fire away, Al.
I think I trust Matt Reeves, number one. I really like the way that Pattinson is pulling his career together in the past few years. He's done some really interesting work, and I'm interested in the cast. I love Paul Dano, love Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
On paper, it looks like it could be a very good movie. However, on paper, sometimes that's the only place it looks good. The trailer itself, the teaser, had some potential. It was, dark and brooding. I didn't really like the way that he was like a crazy person beating that one person up, like a nutcase. That's just not the Batman that I remember. Like, just like he beats people up, but he doesn't like beat them just to. But anyway, I'm not caught up on the cowl. I'm not caught up on the suit or anything like that. I know it's.
So what you're saying is you didn't like the best part of the trailer.
On vengeance.
I understand them using the Nirvana song, something in the way, but I don't know. I don't like when people repurpose songs like that, but that's just me. But I do like that the Riddler looks to be the main baddie, at least in the trailer, because they had all the riddles and things of that nature. And then the screen grab that you guys sent me of what has been confirmed as the Penguin's makeup. It's insane. I'm interested in seeing it. I'll go to the theater and see it. So, yeah, I mean, it's a different take on Batman. So I hope he does detective stuff. That's all I can say. It looked like he was in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a much more
looks
even
like emo Batman.
Well, I wouldn't say emo, but it seems even more grounded than Nolan's take on Batman, which is
no doubt
interesting. It's a direction that I didn't think they would go, since we just came from a trilogy of grounded Batman movies. But I mean, like, I'm open to it, and the trailer looked good. Ryan and I both have our qualms with the suit, but the trailer itself, I thought it was great. I mean, I like the repurposing of Something in the Way with a little bit of modification to make it a little, they kind of added a score on top of Something in the Way. But
Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, top down, the whole cast is great.
The only thing I'm nervous about, and I won't say nervous, the only thing I am laissez-faire on is Zoe Kravitz. I don't really care one way or the other if she's Catwoman.
Sure.
It's one of those roles, like, how like every pop star likes to sing Santa Baby, and they try to like give it like that sex appeal and stuff like that, and it's really like 99% of them are really bad. And I would say that there's only like 2, maybe 3 standout performances of Catwoman, and she's like one of the favorites and things like that. So it is what it is. It looks like they've got her in like a knit cap with like the little ears that aren't really ears. They're just popping up. It's just the way the hat's styled. So she's like a cat burglar, like she's supposed to be. So anyway, it looks good. I like Matt Reeves. I love what he did with the Apes movies. So fully trust him to do a good job.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. I mean, and one thing to note is that, we keep saying like Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin, but it seems like they're not going by those names in these movies, like, or they hadn't like started using those names or been referred to as those names.
I'm a little, as that news, because when the news for this movie first started coming out, it was like, the Riddler's going to be in it, Catwoman's going to be in it, the Penguin's going to be in it, and I was like, oh gosh, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it seems like they're
As
just building their universe.
Right. As the news has come out where they're not necessarily like, it seems like all the characters aside from Batman aren't really in their traditional villain form yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Cobblepot. Yeah, we'll be. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. So
I think it's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So other than that, I mean, the only other bit of news, I think this dropped a few days ago. Ridley Scott is doing a Gucci movie, and the cast that is rumored to be either in talks. I think the main headline for this was that Lady Gaga was being eyed for this role of the wife of Mauricio Gucci. And so the rest of the cast, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Jack Houston, and our boy Adam Driver, they're all in talks, I guess, at this point to star. I know that Adam Driver is actually in The Last Duel right now that Ridley Scott's doing. Driver and Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. It's like it's kind of like a gladiator type movie, I can't remember exactly when it takes place, but it kind of seemed like it was more in the gladiator realm of his filmography, which is not something he's kind of done in a while, which is interesting. But anyway, just wanted to bring that up because as far as him doing like a biopic, that's Ridley Scott hasn't really, at least not recently, I can't think of like a biopic type project that he's done. I mean, he's been spending a lot of time in the Alien universe.
Closest thing he's ever done is, I think, Gladiator.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it mainly caught my eye because of the cast. I know that they didn't they do FX did a Versace docu series or a
I don't know,
drama series or whatever it is.
I didn't watch it, but yeah, I remember it
I don't know.
advertised.
But
I don't know. I like I said last week when y'all were talking about the Ridley Scott show coming out on HBO.
HBO Max, yeah.
Yeah, Ridley Scott's got to prove himself to me again. He's just not done well lately in my eyes, in my opinion. His movies just aren't as good, and people came in and took over, I mean, Blade Runner and made it better. Like, they took it over and made it better. So I like Ridley Scott's old stuff. I mean, I love Alien, the original Alien movie. So
Sure.
And Gladiator and plenty of his other
Prometheus
movies.
is really the last one that I enjoyed.
See, I didn't even like that, but that's just me. I mean,
Yeah.
that movie's polarizing. But either way, I don't think I'm not interested in Gucci. I don't care. I just don't care.
the story seems interesting as far as the whole like murder and
you got shot on the steps in New York, right? Or
right,
something like that.
I don't know if it was in New York, but
I remember the
yeah.
news.
Wasn't, I mean, she was like, she was blamed for it, or the main suspect. I can't remember exactly. But
I can't remember all of it.
that's why we're going to watch the movie so we can find out the truth, because movies are true.
Yeah, movies are true. Yeah.
You can believe everything you see and hear in a movie.
Oh, yeah. Check out Oliver Stone movies and then check the facts. So what else you got for us, Brandon?
That's it, man. I brought that up only because the cast was pretty stacked, and I love a good stacked cast. I love it when a plan comes together. So this one seems like it's come together real nice.
All right. Real nice, Clark.
Yeah. All
right. And on that note, we will be right back with our review of your pick, Palm Springs. All right, this week you all voted on Palm Springs above Ingrid Goes West and The Hunt.
Yeah.
So we all watched Palm Springs. So first and foremost, Brandon, what was your initial thought, your short review of Palm Springs?
I liked it a lot. It was fun. I mean, just as a comedy, worked really well, and then as a high concept comedy, I guess that was just a bonus. As far as the, I guess, I mean, are we approaching this in spoiler territory? Are we doing like a bumper? How do we want to do this? Because there is an element to this movie that I don't think people should know. Really,
I think we established a couple weeks ago. If you're watching this show, if you're listening to any movie podcast, spoilers are just part of. Yeah,
fire away.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So the being stuck in the whole, the same day over and over, that whole concept, it's not a new concept, but I like the way they played with it here. And then I'll go into more detail later, but I liked it. We'll just say that, and then we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Next.
Ryan, what'd you think?
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Comedies are in short, good comedies are in short supply these days, unfortunately. And I was a little worried about, I like Groundhog Day. I was a little worried this was gonna be a little bit too Groundhog Day, and it certainly was not. It was an awesome flick.
Okay. All right. And I thought this movie was okay. It was.
Whack, whack, whack.
I honestly I never,
insert Debbie Downer.
No, it's not that. I'm not saying I hated it or anything. I'm just saying it was okay. It wasn't great. And that's about it. I thought there were a couple high spots, but it was hard to find them for me. That's just me.
Sure.
So
I got you.
I am not saying this movie's terrible. I am not saying this movie's bad. I am not saying this movie needs to be destroyed, never seen it. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is this movie is okay. So first and foremost, let's talk about some of the behind and leading up to the movie. This movie had a rough budget of around $5 million, but then it went to Sundance, and it killed the all-time buy at Sundance by 69 cents.
Yeah, I was reading that too. So it looked like the final number was actually closer to 22 million after all the incentives. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it was 17.5 million 69 cents, and that's how they got over the original record. But yes, you were right. There were incentives and things of that nature. And now this movie went on to make. I mean, we saw it on Hulu. I mean, that's kind of how you have to see it now. But this movie went on to make quite a bit of money. I mean,
it just screened in drive-thrus, right?
Yeah, it was doing that from 66 theaters in its opening weekend. Made 164,000, I should say, and it played in 30 theaters its second weekend to $101,000. So altogether, it ended up making around $44 million. So it's all kind of rough because luckily it's on Hulu. We can understand how many people watched it and stuff. We can't. Netflix doesn't give those types of numbers. So yeah, but it's made its money back. I think that it's probably easier to
where are you
advertise.
Getting your 44 million number from?
Interwebs.
Just curious because I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I just saw the.
It says 265,000.
Yeah.
Box office.
Hang on, let's see. Hang on. Well, here's the thing.
Fake news. Fake news.
Fake news.
This is Brandon's gotcha after you roasting him for the.
I'm just testing our news guy. I'm testing our news guy. Yeah. So. Oh, you know what?
I was looking at Brandon's face.
Oh, you know why? Like... You know why? Okay. Retraction. Sorry. So Box Office Mojo, you have to pay for it now. And that's usually what I went to. And now you can't do anything in there. And sorry, I ain't paying for it. And it says, this is what I looked at. I didn't see that it was the Czech Republic at first, but it's $45,000. 164,000 in its opening weekend, 101,000 the next weekend.
That's quite a difference.
Then it says,
I was wondering why you said this movie's made quite a lot of money.
216,969. However, I wonder I wonder how many people subscribe just for the month. You know, I wonder if they'll ever give us those types of numbers.
He's trying to walk it back.
No,
it's okay.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I'm human.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm human. I made a mistake. You're mad because I thought your movie was okay. So anyway.
I just want the truth to be out there. That's all.
That's why he's our news guy.
Yeah, that's why he lied 2 weeks in a row. Anyway, so let's talk about it. What about this movie did you particularly like? Was there anything that you could have done without? Anything they could have changed to make it better?
I'll start with the negative. I did not like her. So with Groundhog Day, one thing that I like about that movie is how he like kind of gradually realizes what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel like it really quickly jumped into like she's like, you know, this is not right. We need to fix. Like I could have used more of a like whether it was things that happened that led her to believe that or like I don't know. Just could have used more of a transition. She just kind of seemed to like really go off the rails really quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Brandon doesn't look like he agrees.
I don't feel like I feel like she was obviously shocked to begin with, like the first day, but once she like figured, you know, that she kind of was doing the same kind of stuff that he was, and they had these like montage sequences where they were just doing crazy stuff, you know, over and over.
Well, I'm just talking about that first day. Like, I was expecting more of like a lead into her, you know, like, and I know they did the dual storyline things where you saw from his perspective and then her perspective, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just could have used more transition there. I was just kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, building up. Now, I can see where you're coming from because I thought the third act was the better part of the movie. Could have done without the first two acts, period. Didn't care. There was only one time that I even kind of giggled during this entire movie, and that was when she flew out of the car. Caught me off guard. Everything else I could see foreshadowing coming a mile away. And I don't think that's because I'm super smart. I think it's because it was just a super simple script. I did think that Christina Milioti, playing Sarah, great. I thought she was the movie. She was the movie. Andy Samberg, she held the movie up. Andy Samberg was Andy Samberg the whole movie. And it was hard to forget that it was Andy Samberg, which that's fine. That's most comedy actors. But like when they needed to get emotional or anything like that, she really was the tent pole for that whole area of the movie. And so I really enjoyed her performance. I look forward to seeing her in more stuff. I know she's been in stuff in the past, and that was one thing that tripped me up at the beginning. I was like, where do I know her from? And so I had to pause and look through IMDb so I could get that out of my head. So
I did the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought she and J.K. Simmons were good. And Katie's making fun of me, but ever since I watched it, because you two had seen it, correct? Before I had not.
Okay, so Brandon had seen it before. I just watched it this past week.
Yeah, I watched it Sunday.
And the scene where they're out on or they leave the wedding and they're out like making out on the rock or whatever.
Yeah.
And J.K. Simmons shows up, or shoots him with the arrow.
Yeah.
He starts running, and then he shoots him again. And the line that's just like stuck in my head from that movie is him yelling, "You're a sick Roy." Bleep it. Go ahead, do it.
Jeez.
That one's they like replay that scene like 2 or 3 times, I think, as you're watching it. Maybe. Because one of the cool things that I did enjoy about the movie, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, was the way that they showed the story from two perspectives. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like J.K. Simmons in anything. He's
J.K. Simmons.
He's gonna be great in the next Batman movie that they make.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Brandon?
The old commish.
Yeah.
Yep. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Al,
crossed.
don't say anything.
Back to Palm
Yeah.
Springs. All right.
So, but yeah. What I was gonna say is back to the whole like, as far as you were comparing the Groundhog Day, like easing into that whole thing. I kind of liked how, like, for Samberg's character, like we just like are just kind of like pushed into this scenario where he's been doing this for years. It seems like years and years and years, and we didn't have to, because they would have, there's obvious comparisons to be made to Groundhog Day if they were to like show him like figuring this out, and just like they do in Groundhog Day. But I thought that having another person, well, I guess two people at least that were also in there with him, was a cool dynamic to have.
I loved the scene at the wedding where he like dances up to her.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, that's the thing is, that's what I wasn't sure if you guys knew the premise yet or not. And I unfortunately had watched the trailer, and they give that away in the trailer. So I was like, I kind of knew what was going whenever he's like dancing. Oh, really?
I had seen the poster before.
I really didn't know anything about this movie other
or-
than the fact that it was popular. So when he
Gotcha.
like crushed that wedding speech in a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I remembered hearing about the Sundance story, and I was like, man, is he putting out like a crazy drama or something? Because that's usually what Sundance goes for. They usually really kind of fall all over themselves over the big dramas and do like the 20-minute standing ovations, the pretentious stuff that they do. But I was,
You love it.
I don't. So I mean, at least the filmmaker's there when they're doing it. But yeah, this movie to me, maybe I'm just aged out of this movie. It felt like a movie for a college girl, like
Ouch.
freshman in college. That's what it felt like. Man. I mean, it just felt like it was written for that type of humor. Like whenever they were going through, like he kept mentioning the shampoo. I understand it paid off later, but it was just like they mentioned it way too many times. It was just like, okay, I get it. I wasn't like angry. I was just like, I kept checking how much longer was in the movie. I was like, how much longer is in this movie? And I didn't want to watch it anymore. I just was like, okay, I get it.
How can you say at the beginning of this that it was all right, and then you just said, I just didn't even want to watch it anymore.
I liked her performance. I like Andy Samberg. I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and things like that. I like J.K. Simmons. There are elements that I like about this movie.
I want to know what Brandon thinks. He's got the smile on his face, semi-smile on his face.
This is Al. This is just Al. He doesn't like good things.
No, I do like good things. That's why I don't like what I don't like.
That's what you always say. I get it.
It's not a matter of me or anybody being superior in what they like. It's a matter of just not liking what you don't like and liking what you do like. So
people like what they like.
And people don't like what they don't like.
Here.
So, but this movie was all right.
It was all right.
This movie is trash.
I'm not going to say, look, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean I'm not going to suggest other people. I'm saying that it is for a group of people. I am just not in that group of people.
It's surprising
send it out to all your college age girlfriends that you have.
To me, this movie kind of falls in line with the same type of comedy and aesthetic, especially as Ingrid Goes West. So I was a little surprised that you didn't like it.
So Ingrid Goes West.
I don't know if I would make that comparison.
Yeah. Ingrid Goes West actually looks like a movie. This looks like a long format TV show. This movie was lit like a long format TV show, like something that would be on like Fox or something like that. And it had that feel.
The production kind of reminded me, the style reminded me of Forgetting Sarah Marshall for some reason.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
beach and
what the reasoning is there, but
I mean, but it's just not my style. It doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's just not my style. And I didn't vocal fry, but I honestly think that this is for a group of people that it just is not me. That's all there is to it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, we liked it. And I think it's one of those movies like, and this is the problem with movies nowadays, just in general.
I thought you were going to say, and this is the problem with you, Al.
No, he's going to tell me that. He tells me that all the time.
No, like I mentioned to you guys earlier that I listened to it at work just to kind of refresh because it'd been a few weeks since I saw it, and there were a lot of like good one-liners in there that I'm like, you know, I could watch this a couple times and there'd be a lot of cool, like a lot of quotable things. But that's the problem now with like movies is you just don't have time to rewatch stuff. There's too much stuff to watch.
I even enjoyed the like, wait, what?
What?
He's
he's like mimicking everything she says because he already knows.
That's one thing that, and I know it was supposed to, but man, the girlfriend Misty, she grated my nerves from the moment she was on screen. I was like, ugh. And she doesn't strike me as your type of chick. So not my type of person, period. But hey, I'm not everybody's type of person. So, but
so diplomatic.
I do want to say that it is hard to talk about this.
People will see this.
It is hard to talk about this movie without putting a parallel comparison to Groundhog Day. And the thing about what Brandon just said about Groundhog Day versus this is, after the first watch of Groundhog Day, you have those quotable lines. If you need to watch this a couple times to get quotable, see, I don't remember most of this movie.
You've watched it many times, Al. We don't have to do this again.
I have watched it many times. I have watched it many times because it was a good movie. But I also was quoting it after the first time I watched it.
I'm sure you were, buddy. I'm sure you were.
See, I'm not like I have not seen Groundhog Day a ton of times, and I still don't have a ton of quotes from it. I don't know.
I mean, it's just in the.
I mean, it's different for everybody. I get you.
It's in the air now. I mean, everybody kind of understands those quotes, even if they haven't seen the movie. You know, they understand. You know, just feel.
The only thing I think of is the like, well, it's Groundhog Day, or whatever it says in the mic on the newscast.
And, you know, it's also Bill Murray. It's hard to go up against Bill Murray. I mean, Bill Murray is a generational person. So, I mean,
it's hard to go up against Bill Murray. It's hard to go up against Kubrick.
Yep. We get it.
It's hard to go up against Taxi Driver.
Nothing will outshine the old. If it's older, it's better.
I tell you what, leave down in the comments if you like Andy Samberg or if you like Bill Murray more. Let's see how that goes.
Nobody's arguing that.
Let's see how that goes. Yeah.
Depends on what our demo is.
Yes,
it really doesn't.
That's a
really
good point.
Because our demo might even not know who Bill Murray is.
That's not true because he has like got these folklore type stories of him showing up at parties and stuff now. So he's like outside of movies even famous now. So he's a weird character. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well. Anyway. Palm Springs.
So good.
It was okay.
Okay. Well.
And that's that.
No thumbs up or down. Just keep my thumbs to myself.
So Ryan, I wanna ask you this, Ryan.
After it was partly over, I just didn't want to watch it anymore. But it's all right.
Ryan, since you didn't know anything about the movie, apparently, at what point did you figure it out?
The loop thing?
Yeah.
I think I had a like hint of it towards like I think it was as the dance thing was happening. Like it started out and I was like, it's pretty funny, and then I was like, you know, I think it was when he like rolled over the guy when he like bent down. So I was like, something's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even then I wasn't like.
So pretty early, because that's pretty early in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you figured it out pretty early. Do I?
So when did you figure it out, Brandon?
Oh, I knew. I told you. I watched the trailers, so I knew it going into it. So what I said stands true. It's easy to foreshadow this movie. I mean, you foreshadowed it from the trailer.
before you even
Because
watch
they
the movie.
spell it
That's
out
just
for
the
you in the
trailer.
trailer.
Yeah.
But
They
I'm just
tell you
saying-
that it's a time
And then
loop
Ryan
movie.
figured it out pretty early on. Probably, I would say close to the end of the first act.
Al, they tell you in the trailer it's a time loop movie. Okay.
Well, I know it was a time loop. I mean, yeah, that's the whole hook. I'm just saying. That
So what do you?
this movie, it's easy to tell how they were going to get
You're
out of
burying
it.
yourself, Al.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it's easy to. It was easy to foreshadow this movie left and right, every move of this movie.
I don't agree. I don't think it's about like. I don't think figuring out how to get out of it, even if that was foreshadowed, which I don't think it was. I don't think that's the point. It's just about the relationship between her.
Having not seen the trailer going into it, it was a pretty cool experience. Just like kind of slowly figuring out, like going from this is funny to what's going on here. Like it's getting a little too.
Like I said, there were parts of the third act. There were a lot of the third act actually. If they had more of the movie,
What part of the movie?
The third act I liked. I liked whenever she started after the soon to be brother-in-law came out of the bathroom, and that kind of started the third act where she realized and she started disappearing, and he was missing her and things like that, and it got more of a serious tone to it, to where there was more dramatic scenes and things like that, and. He went and visited J.K. Simmons, and you found out J.K. Simmons had a really good backstory. You know, his character had a really good backstory. He had a family and everything. And he was like
son that was watering dog poop.
That was stupid. That was just stupid.
No, that was great.
That's
life, dude.
He said that.
Really?
That son over there is watering dog poop.
I was like, wow, what a desperate joke. But yeah.
Ow.
It just wasn't funny. It just wasn't funny.
It was funny. That was funny.
I just before you even just whatever that. But the third act was really good. Not really good, but I mean it was. I would like to if the whole movie was more of that tone, that would have been better for me. So I liked whenever she started coming to a realization that I got to change my ways. And when she whispered in her sister's ear and then walked out of the wedding and then started trying to talk with, physicist or whatever. And she was trying to figure things out. So I enjoyed that part of it when she started trying to figure things out. But yeah, the comedy just fell flat for me.
Less comedic to me. So you enjoyed it when it was less funny.
He likes sad things.
Well,
Remember that.
He
likes to be sad. He's a sad person.
It's not true. It's not true.
I promise it's not true.
It's not true. Tell me it's not true.
No, I just felt, that her character had a really good arc at that point, and I don't know. It was nice to see that he was actually feeling something and things like that. Now, I think it really started whenever the other. I guess there was one other part where I thought it was like I didn't really laugh, but I thought it was funny. It was like we need to break up.
I really laughed, but I thought it was funny.
I mean, I watched it by myself, but I mean, I'm just saying that. Whenever he said we need to break up, and she was like, nobody breaks up with me or whatever. And the only reason I've met people like that, you know what I mean? So anyway, but I thought the third act was
pretty funny.
Was pretty good. But yeah, everybody at that wedding, had a punchable face. It was just annoying. Those people were annoying.
Man. Wow.
Oh man. So you'd fight the whole wedding.
I liked the little when he was like telling her like his like I guess sexual conquests or whatever, and he like telling like how he hooked up with basically everybody at the wedding at some point or another, and then he tried to hook up with the bride, and, tried to cut in the first dance. Is that not allowed?
That's pretty great. The Hawaiian shirt is what really makes all the wedding scenes for me.
Yeah. Somebody, if you listen, somebody like calls him out on that. Is he wearing a Hawaiian shirt to a wedding or something? I was like in the background.
Yeah. I was looking online too. At some point in the movie, I can't remember the scene it was, but some music starts playing apparently where everybody in the scene is dancing, like dancing in the background. And apparently they start dancing before the music is turned on.
Oh, really?
It's just like a little like
that's funny. Right, Al?
Yeah.
Sure.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Easter egg. All right. Gotta go watch it again to see that. No, I don't know. I like Andy Samberg in a few things, but I am looking forward to seeing
But not this.
Miss
Like,
Milioti
I love
things.
that. Like at the end of like after he goes and visits Roy, he's like, "Can you just kill me so I don't have to like
He's
deal with
standing in
traffic?"
the trash can.
He doesn't want to like have to deal with traffic getting back, so he's like, "Just kill me." So he shoots him
I
with his
love
bow.
he's standing in the trash can.
Yeah.
He has him shoot him and the thing just closes.
So good, man. I wish.
Al just up there not laughing.
It just wasn't funny to me. I'm sorry. I'm letting you guys have
I'm
your
just
moment.
giving
I'm not
you a-
interrupting.
Just giving you a hard time, Al. Just giving you a
Yeah.
hard time.
It's just not my style.
It's part of it. It's part of it.
Hey, trust me. You're not gonna like every movie.
You're a grouch, Oscar.
I know. I live in a trash can. Yeah, no, so I guess we should wrap this up with a bow and say, Ryan, is this
I guess we'll do stream it or
yes.
stream it or skip it. Can you?
Or-
I don't even
or
know if you
would
can
you-
buy
They'll-
it. Can
they'll
you?
end up
I guess if
they'll
it's
end up releasing it.
Yeah, they'll put it on
I think it's
Blu-ray.
already for pre-order in like January or something.
Mhm.
What I'm
Well,
saying
for
is I
now-
would buy it.
You would buy it? Okay.
I would buy it.
All right.
I enjoyed this movie.
yeah, I would buy it too.
Okay.
And I want to watch it, like intently watch it again. So I will probably do that on Hulu. Available now.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. Underneath our faces. Yeah, I would skip it,
It's
but
okay, Al.
I would suggest it to college girls.
Well,
If I had a
get
niece that was
jabbed
of
in the
age or
episode.
something. I don't
Backhanded
even know if I
jab.
would. I don't know if I'd tell my niece, but if I knew like somebody and they were asking me for a good movie or something, I don't know. I would say, yeah, you seem like you're right for this movie, but just not for me.
Okay.
It's just not for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's right.
But you watch it and you let us know what you thought about it, okay? Tell us if you agree, disagree. Doesn't have to agree or don't have to disagree. Just tell us what your favorite parts were. Anything like that.
We'd love
ahead.
to talk with you in the comments
Yeah.
and get a dialogue going about it. So
That's what this whole show is about. It's about
right.
the three of us just starting the conversation of talking about movies. We're not any type of czar or any type of authority.
Definitely
on
no
the,
gurus.
Yeah, we're just opinionated guys that happen to love movies and have microphones. That's it. So
I'll go ahead and use that as a seg for myself and say that I would love for y'all to give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Cinemachine Pod, and hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and definitely comment on the video. And like I said, we love talking with you guys.
yeah, and we pretty much. I don't think we've missed a comment yet. I think we've responded to every single comment. So
It's been fun.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So now's the part where you guys really get to interact with us. We're going to choose 3 movies, one of us one movie per person here, and you guys get to vote on exactly where Ryan just told you: Twitter, Instagram, or down in the comments here. And when is the voting up? Is it Saturday morning?
So yeah, we'll post the or we'll throw the social posts up when this video goes live, and you guys have till Saturday morning, and we'll pick the winner and let you know.
Yeah, and that's what we'll be part of our review next week. Now, next week is a special episode. We're going to be reviewing Tenet. So, yeah. So we'll use whatever you guys tell us to watch as the what we've been watching, and then we'll get right into Tenet. So, without further ado, Brandon, what's your movie of the week?
My pick for this week is going to be Bad Education. It is a HBO original movie. It's a Hugh Jackman flick, and it is available on HBO or HBO Max or HBO Now or HBO Go.
That makes sense.
All the HBOs.
That makes sense for it to be available there.
Yep.
Ryan, what would your pick be?
I am gonna pick The Gentleman. I have not seen it since it was in theaters, but returned to form for Guy Ritchie for me. So I'll throw that one out there.
That was one of the last movies I saw in the theaters before all of this went down.
Yep. Same here.
That and Parasite. I saw Parasite at the Alamo. So I'm going to pick a little Sam Rockwell and Shia LaBeouf are getting a lot of airplay. So, hey guys, if you're listening, feel free to come on the show. Just
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf.
Apparently you and Ryan have worked out together in jeans, so it works out.
True.
So, I'm going to pick Honey Boy. And that is a movie. Yeah, it's on Prime. So it's easy for you guys to grab that one up. And so we're going to review it, but go ahead and watch it while, in the meantime, whatever wins, pay attention to when we reveal the winner. And we'll all watch together, and then we can discuss together, and then we can immediately comment and everything. So I think that's everything right there. So I know I'm excited to go back to movie theaters, guys. How do you guys? You excited?
Big week coming up. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Brandon.
Yes.
So loud with his opinion. Yes. So
very excited.
So yeah, we.
You betcha.
Yeah. What if there weren't like a big movie like Tenet as your first back in the theater? Would you still be as excited to go back to the theater?
New Mutants.
No boy.
The Cursed Project. I don't think. I mean, come on, like it's Tenet and IMAX. Like,
yeah.
You probably couldn't draw up anything.
Well, we kind of talked about that last week, but it's the perfect type of movie to get you to return. So
yeah.
Remember these?
Yeah, exactly. Well, guys and gals, thank you so much for tuning in to Cinemachine. Make sure you subscribe and like to this channel and download our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you Overcast, wherever you can find podcast, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Cinemachine Pod. So thank you so much for tuning in, Brandon, Ryan.
Yes.
Awkward ending.
I thought you were asking me a question.
No, wasn't. So
okay.
We will see you later on the next Cinemachine.